From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. I don't know why, but you are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. We are talking about the first Hunger Games movie coming out all the way, oh god, the year I graduated, 2012. Oh, 12 years ago. Ow. Ow.
Yes, 2012.
I didn't realize that.
Hi, James.
Hey, Will, do you
So-
so old?
Well, I mean, I'm 30, so yes.
Wow, fuck you.
Wow, that was
All right, come here, and you have to buy me dinner first.
like kaboom, chapow, chapow. Fuck. That took a complete left turn. It's not even a fucking NASCAR race.
I just looked up the age in general and I was like, how old was I? I was 23 and I'm like, oh, it's just the scene from the Santa Claus right there where I just started graying right there. I'm like, ugh.
I was 21.
21.
And
So yeah, we're talking about the first Hunger Games movie, and yeah, let's talk about it because it's definitely a 2.5-hour film of basically the book, and they did a really good job with converting it from the book to the movie. I know Susie will probably either share that sentiment or completely. But how
Okay,
you
so
guys?
then-
How you guys doing over there?
Wait, hold on. Can I tell a really funny story of
No.
how seeing this movie got me to learn that I was like very close friends with the son of the author of the books.
What?
Yeah, knew him my 8th grade all the way to my senior year. Had no fucking clue. Had no idea. Didn't know nothing. And then I go with my tech club. We go see it and stuff like that. And we come out and they're all talking. We're talking. I was like, and I look at them. They were like talking about. They were like, your mom did they did a really good job, like working with your mom and stuff like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? They looked at me with heads. They were like, you don't know? What am I supposed to know? No, his mom wrote the books. No. I literally went, no. And they were all like, yeah. I was like, no.
No.
And then he yeah, and I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. No. Shit.
No.
That was my funny experience.
So, this movie had a budget of $78 million and had a box office of $695 million. This made fucking bank, and then put out 3 more movies after this, or 4 if you want to count Songbird and Snakes that came out, 11 years later. But just look at this cast, and everybody here you're gonna know: Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Banks, Lenny Kravitz, who very underrated role in this movie, Stanley Tucci, and everybody's favorite Donald Sutherland.
so
Love that.
the
man.
only ones that were not household names out of that entire list: Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson,
I
and
mean-
Liam.
Bridge to Terabithia was a thing.
Yeah, but they weren't household names.
Oh god, no, not at all.
They are now household names.
Especially Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. Liam Hemsworth was not a household name. The only reason you knew the last name Hemsworth was because of Chris.
And didn't Thor come out, like the first Thor Well, Avengers came out this year, so
Yeah, so Thor had basically just come out. Chris Hemsworth was a household name.
Mhm.
Like, so Liam wasn't well known. You knew the last name, so you were kind of expecting greatness from him based on his brother.
Yep.
He was an unknown for most people.
And
But everybody else on that list, everybody else knew who those people were.
While he looks like his brother, there is very much a a distinction between both of them. Chris is all jacked and all that stuff. Liam, I don't want to say he looks like a normal, like regular person, but still has the Hemsworth acting chops.
See, he has a flatter face, but that's a far nicer compliment.
Hold on. Ron Simmons here. Damn.
I don't even know where to go from that comment.
All right. Well, I do. Stussy, how did you feel like they adapted the book into a movie? Because I did it probably opposite the way everybody else did it. I watched the movies first and then listened to the books.
So I read the books first.
Shocker.
Nerd. Yeah, massively. I think the only complaint I have about them adapting from the book to the movie is the arena. The arena and after. And I understand why they made the changes that they did. Like that's not a huge deal, but like the Mutts, they didn't resemble the fallen tributes.
Not at all.
Peter didn't lose his leg. Katniss, you really didn't see that she had lost her hearing in one ear, and that it was restored. So I mean, it's small things. It's small things that like you can get over and you can kind of deal with. But for me, it changes how you progress to the next story, the next part of the story, the next phase. And I think if they had left in those minute things from the book into the movie, I think it would have pushed the movie over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they didn't follow through with what the book did, just because it's a little bit harder on the actors. It's a little bit more money and costuming and everything else because you have to learn how to do certain things.
I thought it'd be really difficult to CGI the people into the mutt-looking characters like they did in the book.
So they didn't. But see, here's the thing: it's the eyes. It was the eyes
that gave it away. Yeah,
eyes that gave it away. They didn't even have to make it like, humanoid. They literally could have, as long as the eyes were very human-like and were the same color as the other tributes, I think they could have gotten away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But they literally were just big dogs. And then, like, the way the fight scene with Kato, they ended it way sooner than they did in the book.
Yeah, it's drawn out a little bit more. It's drawn out more in the book.
Yeah. Well, it's not really drawn out. It's more Katniss doesn't do the mercy shot until morning.
Yeah. While he's still,
because he's protected by that armor.
Mm-hmm.
So, so she does the mercy shot in the morning. So it's just it's little things, but it's little things that they change that carry over to the next movies, and it makes a big impact in the next couple of films.
It's not like they wanted to cut corners, because I don't think that's why they did it. I think they did it more of a pacing aspect.
Yeah, but Peter losing his leg, that's not a pacing aspect. That's one of the best. He loses in the book, he loses his leg. He has a prosthetic.
I don't remember that. It's been
I
a
am
while.
fairly positive
Oh no,
that
you're probably right. I'm now
I,
gonna have to
I'm,
re-download these books and listen to them. Thank you,
I am.
Susie.
You're welcome. I am pretty sure he loses his leg, and he walks with a limp. Like he has a prosthetic,
Hmm.
and it makes a big impact on how they approach the 75th quarter quell. Like it makes a huge impact, and you don't realize it until you watch the movie and then you go to read the book
Hmm.
and realize what the difference it makes.
So, James, did you read the books?
No, but I can now because they're on Spotify. So thank you.
They are a really good listen to. I will give them that. Um. So, what was the biggest change for you, Susie? I know you were talking about them deviating in certain places. Where would you have not wanted them to deviate from the book that they did?
I'd say the ending. Like I really think that they shouldn't have deviated from what happened to Peeta and Katniss. Um, that to me, that like for me, that was a huge thing going into Catching Fire.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see how how they worked it out because you knew you had the Victor Circle and everything else. So
Oh, and
that was
Snow knew right from the get-go that it was all a play and it was gonna work. That
mhm.
honestly one of my favorite parts of the next movie, which we'll talk about. Is Snow telling Katniss, "You need to make me believe because if you can't make me believe, there's people out there that also know you're faking it."
Yeah. Um, but I think that's a huge part of like made or break it for me is them deviating towards the end of the book.
Hmm.
I mean they deviated at other points too. Actually, I have the best one. Where she gets her Mockingjay pin.
From her sister.
She does not get it from Greasy Say. She gets it from the mayor's daughter.
Oh yeah, that's right. And
Uh,
and then she gives it to Prim, and then Prim gives it back.
no, Prim never gets it.
Well, no, in the movie she did.
The movie she did, but in the book, Katniss doesn't get the token until she's in the waiting room to see her family,
Hmm.
and the mayor's daughter walks in and gives it to her, and that turns into her token from her district, which then, as we know, becomes a symbol of the revolution. Not so much a spoiler. Um, so I think that's really the biggest deviation that drives me crazy is the mayor's daughter doesn't show up in this.
Hmm.
Neither does Peeta's father, who comes in and tells Katniss he'll watch after the little one.
Make sure that they're fed. No, they changed that to tell shit. What's Liam's character name?
Gale.
Gale. Yeah, they moved that into Gale basically.
Well,
James was.
Gale still comes in, and Gale still comes in the book and says that he'll make sure that he provides them with meat and stuff like that. But the baker coming in and going, he'll make sure that there's bread and stuff on their table.
Yeah. So, James, going into this, because you didn't watch these movies until recently, right?
Yeah.
Going into this movie, how did you feel? And then coming out, how did you feel?
Going in, so I did the thing of I watched the trailer as if it was the first time of the movie being debuted, kind of get the gist of it. Went into the movie going, okay, we're gonna see pretty much the rise of a character. end of it. Oh, kid, you need a hug. Like, you would throw a lot of shit. That sucks.
He's not wrong at all. Shit. Was expecting that. Wow, you kind of threw me for a loop there. Gave me a headache. I laughed so hard. Susie, you got anything that you wanted to throw in there while I think of another question for you two?
No, Will, do you have anything to add? I know you've seen this.
Oh yeah, I've seen all about the Songbird things. I mean, I'm a person who still hasn't read the books. But I know of the books. I know some of like these differences in the book and everything. So, I mean, I think for shoving that whole book into 2.5 hours, I think they did pretty good. But I will agree with Susie though. I think really they should have. I think they should have added a little more finesse to the dogs at the end.
Yeah. What
I think it was Dennis's character development.
was there a part of this movie that felt slow at all? Because I watched it and it was like I was watching it for the first time. I didn't want to, okay, I need to skip. That was stupid. Skip. Okay, we're back at something where I can.
At least I did. But I mean,
See, this movie I watch, and I don't have to skip any part of it. I don't feel like there's any slow movements. I think that they did the slow moments that are in the book really well.
Mhm.
And they have them appropriately paced, so they didn't drag out the slow part. Like the training thing in the before they go to the arena.
Yep.
That has always been, and when I read the books, it's always been the slow part. That's like the downtime. That's like the lull. Everything's been quick. Okay, you're here. And it draws it out just enough that you slow down before you get into like an action-packed area, like the arena. And I think the like really they didn't drag it out, they didn't over drag it out, they dragged it out just enough. And so it wasn't slow, it was an appropriate pace. And I think this movie really capitalized on keeping everything, quick, and then slow. It had a good balance.
Yeah, I enjoyed the pacing of the movie to the point where, like I mentioned, wasn't bored. I was very much into the story, and was this? I correct me if I'm wrong. This was Jennifer Lawrence's first major role.
I think it was her first lead. I could be wrong though.
I would say she hit a home run.
She did. I think Angie's also looking at. I think this was her first major role. I think she's played like background characters.
She
Like,
was
first,
she was a regular in the Bill Engvall show. She was an episode of Monk in 2006.
yeah. So this was her first like front and center. I'm the lead. I'm the main character. Like watch me roar moment. And now she's got nothing but. I mean, she has a couple of kind of flaps, but she's got a lot of blockbusters.
I mean,
So
I love her as an actress. I kind of felt like her in the X-Men movies was collecting a paycheck.
depends on which X-Men movie.
I would say everything after the, in my opinion, because like
Yeah.
the first one, she had some excitement, and I was excited for her.
What's that one? Days of Future Past? Was that the first one
Yeah.
she was in, or?
No, first
Yeah.
one was X-Men First Class. Then it was X-Men Days of Future Past, and then it was X-Men Apocalypse. Why do I know this when the only movie I've seen is X-Men Apocalypse?
Because you're a nerd.
I think there you go. You've seen them all. You're good. You're set.
just stop there, please, for the love of God. I very much enjoyed this movie. Very, very much enjoyed it. I really felt the consequences of what they were doing as characters, And now that I'm happy we watched Songbird and Snakes first, because you could see how much of a conniving bastard President Snow is. And it's 65 years from there to now, or 64 years. And you can just sense how much of a jackass and murderer, anything that can oppose a threat, dead. Hell, he fucking kills the game maker.
He also really does not like the name Katniss.
Yeah, well, we found out why.
I was like, AJ, just remember that. That's the way he stared at that screen. Just,
and then stormed off.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to do Catching Fire now. I actually might watch that tomorrow before work.
Be careful before you catch fire. You don't need third-degree burns, and we don't need to worry about you.
I'll eat Taco Bell. That'll be enough fire.
Just don't have a tennis racket here. You'll be fine.
I'm not my wife. I
AJ,
hope
just
she
don't
didn't hear that.
Phone her.
When you're, this is more for you because you read books like they're going out of style.
She does.
When they adapt movies into books or from books, where does this rank in the adaptations? Like really good, meh, or well, I don't think we're gonna go lower than that, but because you've seen a lot of books or read a lot of books and then seen a lot of movies that come from those books.
Okay, so to understand my ranking, how many of us have seen Aragon?
I've also read the book. I got it for a birthday present.
Aragon is the thing you want to avoid at all.
Can I? Hi.
I mean, the
I was
book
asked
was
the
good. The
question.
movie sucked.
You asked it, I answered it.
I'm aware. Okay. So Aragon is the one that I compare all other movie movie from book adaptations.
Novella.
And the reason is because Aragon is the example of what you don't do when you do that. They took an amazing book and they made a garbage movie.
I'm so happy they didn't adapt the other books.
The movie's really good, but if you sit there and you pretend that it is a movie that is adapted from the book, it is a garbage movie. If you let it stand on its own, it is a fantastic movie. Now, you take the Hunger Games, okay? Particularly the first one. We'll just focus on the first one. It being a standalone movie, it is utterly fantastic. When you sit there and you compare it to the book, it is still a fantastic movie that does amazing credit to the book. Because ideally what you want when you do that is you want a movie that's going to stand on its own, but you also want it to reflect really well on the book. Actually, I just thought of a worse one than Aragon. But yes.
Which one? Because now I'm curious.
I'm scared.
I'm in danger.
I didn't even touch that one. That one was no. I wasn't even thinking of that one. I was thinking of Shadowhunters, where they completely botched the book, the adaptation.
Never heard of it.
It's a good series. Watch the TV series, not the movie. TV series is better. Does better justice. So for me, I feel like this ranks in like the high of how well they did book to movie adaptations. This for me goes right along with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Fire.
And realize which one I skipped here, guys, because that one still pisses me off.
I will send you to Azkaban.
Yeah.
Come on, you.
So, and I mean, everyone's gonna have their different criteria. Like, I'm sure AJ, who's listened to the books and has watched the movies, will have a different criteria than me. But for me, it has to be able to stand on its own, and has to also it has to follow the book. Like, I have to find
Mhm.
very little differences between the movie versus the book, or at least have an explainable reason why you did that change. Which the Hunger Games, I understand why they did the changes that they did, so it makes it an excellent movie.
What's funny is I get a lot of shit for doing it backwards, where I'll watch the movie first and then listen to the book. I get a lot of shit for it.
I won't give you shit for it, and the only reason I won't give you shit for it is because that's how I got into Harry Potter.
The audiobook?
I could not read the I don't like audiobooks.
Okay.
But I couldn't read Harry Potter. I couldn't get into past the first like 3 pages. Couldn't get into the first chapter. Couldn't do it. Went and watched the movie and immediately read the first book. And watched and read every book after that. But I had to get into the first book. Couldn't get into the first book until I watched the movie.
As you guys know, and I've probably said it a lot of times on the channel, I have issues with visualizing what I'm reading. Me watching the movie first paints the picture of the characters because now I know what they look like. And now I can see them doing whatever the book is having them do.
Which is part of the reason why like it's hard for me to be like, you know, and I mean AJ can attest to it. There's sometimes I'll tell him, don't if you like the movie, don't listen to the audiobook. Trust me. Just don't do it. You will be sorely disappointed. And it's just it is what it is. Everybody has their own vision on what things should be and how they should look and everything else, and everyone's allowed their creative differences. It's really hard for me when it comes to books because it literally tells you what the character looks like.
Mm-hmm. Like
What
Harry Potter with the weird eyes. Daniel
Yeah.
Radcliffe not being able to work with the contacts. But everybody at home, let's hear what your thoughts are on the first Hunger Games movie. Next week we are doing Catching Fire, which, wow, that was a year. It came out right, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Wow.
They actually, that is one thing I will give this series is they actually did it correctly, and they didn't wait, 2 years before releasing the next movie. They like filmed, let's go, filmed, let's go, filmed, let's go. Like, and I think that actually helped with the popularity of it.
Mm-hmm. I think so because it basically kept the movie in your mind.
Yeah.
I am very excited to watch Catching Fire, but we want to hear from you guys. What's your thoughts on the movie? Did you like the books? But yeah, guys, you have anything else before we close up shop?
This was a good movie.
Actually, I want to hear everybody's opinion on if they're a reader and they like, obviously they listen to us, so they probably like movies. Is do they prefer to read the book first or watch the movie? I prefer to read the book first and then watch the movie.
I don't want to feel alone anymore. Somebody be on my side. But tomorrow at noon, we have an episode coming out. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
episode?
A hero.
What about it?
Season 2 and movie.
Yay.
Wait, Will, I'm confused. Which hero? You say my hero, but you don't tell us what hero is your hero.
Academia. Bitch.
I've never heard of Macadamia. He sounds nutty.
I'm very concerned and my head hurts now.
Love you, James. Love you, James. You're dumb.
Poor James is just messing with you.
Oh, he is. That's why he's dumb.
Ow. That was great. All right, everybody.
JJ,
What?
you forgot to talk about our boy, Huey.
Oh
and how
yeah.
he
He
got we
he
both
he
we
throws
seeing
spear and he got arrowed.
him. You failed this city. But
Did you talk about our fabulous artwork?
Yes,
no,
the wonderful person. Hold on, gotta look at the there. He's like over there. The artwork you see on the thumbnail and behind us, wonderfully drawn by the guy with the Metallica shirt. Nice shirt, Mr. James
really-
Fair. I don't check out what he's wearing. I'm just looking to see if I can still see the tattoo.
Oh. we do have to touch up.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, did it happen yet?
Not yet. We're talking possible date. I want to try to force it soon.
Yeah, if you got
If
a
you're
choke
watching-
bitch. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. James, also great work with the artwork. Everybody hit that like button, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow for the Nerds Anime Corner.
Yay! Bye.